What's up, y'all? So I'm going to show you how to install a TenPoint SDS, the string dampening system. It's a set of string stumpers that's pretty universal with most TenPoint crossbow models. The instructions that come with it are okay at best. It took a little bit of figuring out with using the instructions, but I also had to modify it a little bit to fit my Turbo M1 because that particular bow requires the shorter bolts that come with it, but they also require you to cut them down. So I'm going to show y'all how I did all of that and how I installed it and how I got it right on my Turbo M1, because that seems to be a little more complicated. It's not as much of a bolt-in install, but it is fairly simple. So let's get down to it. I'm going to show you what I did. Here on the back of the packaging, you can see which bows that this system is compatible with and not compatible with. So keep that in mind when you're purchasing this for your bow. Make sure yours is on the compatible list, and you should be good to go. So the first thing I did here was I went and took everything out of the package and disassembled it and made sure I had all of my hardware and parts. And then I moved on to reading the instructions. Here you can see in the instructions a quick overview of all of your parts that you're supposed to have, and it also shows cut on this line on the shorter screw. Now that is used for the Titan M1 and the Turbo M1 models. Here you can see the groove in which they tell you to use a hacksaw and cut this off. From here I proceeded to chuck it in the vise. I used the flat sides to chuck it in my vise and clamp it down, and then I cut the end off with a hacksaw. And from there, I went ahead and used my drill press with my cross vise and an end mill to go ahead and kind of true up the edge and flatten it out, just because I wasn't really happy with the results of the hacksaw, and maybe that's just me. And I overcomplicate things, but it's the way I am. These are also made out of aluminum, so that helps a good bit. They're not steel, so they're not a very hard material, and this was a very quick and easy cleanup. Now that we've got our screws sized to the size we need, go ahead and remove your quiver bracket. It's very easy. You just remove those two screws there with the nuts on them, and it'll come right off. This is going to make your life a whole lot easier to get in there and tighten down them screws that hold it together. Start with your left side bracket and your left side spacing block. You're going to want the taper to be thinner towards the stock and thicker towards the riser. Once you get both of them in position, you can go ahead and push it forward against the riser and start your bolts. Once you have your two bolts in that hold it together, make sure you have it pressed nice and firmly up against the riser, and go ahead and snug them up with your supplied Allen key that comes with the kit, and you should be good to go. Make sure you tighten them down evenly and snug them up evenly. You can verify that everything was done correct by looking inside the channel where your spacers are. You want to see this verification rib facing you, which means you put the spacers in correctly, as well as them being even and straight across. Up next, you're going to want to wrap your thumb and your fingers around your string and cables. Squeeze them together so that you can go ahead and spin the screws in, and you're going to want to spin them in all the way until they stop. Repeat the same process, and then slide your bumpers onto the adjustment screws. You should see a gap from the bumper to the string here. Now that you have verified you have clearance from the bumper to the string, repeat the same process as you did to install them, but spin them 1/2 turn out at a time until you get slight string contact. Once you have found your initial position of string contact, go ahead and repeat that same process of pulling your string back and squeezing it with the cables, and spin your bumper 1 full turn out to give it slight preload. Your next step is going to be installing the 4 set screws that come with the kit. Note you want the flat edge of these adjustment screws to be facing your 2 holes for the set screws. You want them to bite into that flat side, not the threads. This ensures that they will not spin under vibration. And that's it, folks. You are all done and you're ready to shoot. Your new SDS system is installed and it should look something like this. And for those of you that were wondering, no, it does not interfere with your AccuDraw system. And there y'all have it. That's how you install the TenPoint SDS system on the Titan M1 or Turbo M1. It should be the same on both of those bows, but that's the only one listed in the instructions that shows you need to modify it the way I did. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop me a comment. And if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Thank y'all so much for watching, and y'all have a great day.